said, at your highest moment, be careful, that's when the devil comes for you.
Things just got extremely crazy in the whole Diddy saga. Apparently, Will Smith recently said something that he shouldn't have. And now, Diddy and Jay Z are out to get him. And supposedly, they don't just want to get revenge. The dark truth is finally coming out, and you won't believe just how dark and twisted it truly is. Things started going bad for Diddy when his ex Cassie filed a lawsuit against him, and that was just the tip of the iceberg for Diddy.
Nope, just these the guys on the ground down there, the heavily armed officers that made their way inside. They actually are kind of just milling about or holding the perimeter, as it would be. The non-essential, you can see them making their way back over to these armored vehicles, probably doing a little debrief about what they saw. In any type of these situations, it really is, you know, you've got these armored officers that go in first, but I would venture to say the investigators or the people that know what they're looking for probably still out there on the streets, and they're waiting for that all clear to make sure that there is absolutely nobody on this property. And again, this is just a precaution. They don't want to have any kind of issues. Maybe somebody's hiding still, maybe just scared, and it, you know, doesn't have to be nefarious, and just because they don't know what's going on, and they just don't want to have somebody pop out of a closet or a bathroom or any one of these rooms while they're doing that investigation, and then other problems can ensue. So that's basically why we're seeing that large presence. They keep walking through there, and like you mentioned, this is an extremely large home, and probably with many rooms and little secret areas, so they want to make sure that everything is cleared before they allow those investigators in to start doing that investigation, whatever it is that they're looking for. But you can see a number of those officers making their way back into that major, this is the big main house, as it would be, making their way back inside. And I would venture to say that they're going to just go through every one of those rooms and make sure that there is nobody in there. I don't think they're those guys that we're seeing, guys and gals that we're seeing in those heavily armored gear and equipment, I don't think they're actually searching for any items that could connect whatever the investigation is. I would venture to say that those are going to be the guys that you're seeing right there, and they're waiting for that all clear. And then this group that you see there, those are the ones that are actually going to go inside.
It wasn't long before Jay Z got dragged into the mess.
Jay Z is hitting back today over an allegation he and Sean Diddy Combs a 13-year-old girl after the Video Music Awards in 2000. He says it's blackmail, but the biggest heartbreak, he says, is for his family, including his wife, Beyonce, and their eldest daughter, 12-year-old Blue Ivy.
The allegations against Jay Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, and P. Diddy, comes in a civil lawsuit in which the young woman says she was drugged and that Sean Combs aggressively approached with a crazed look in his eyes, grabbed her, and said, "You are ready to party." At that point, Carter, Jay Z, began removing plaintiff's clothes as she grew more and more disoriented. Beyonce's husband is striking back, releasing a scathing statement. "My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he calculated was the nature of the allegations, and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle."
And he is fighting back against the accusations.
Media mogul Jay Z now accused of a 13-year-old girl in 2000 along with Sean Diddy Combs. Now, this lawsuit was originally filed back in October in the Southern District of New York, listing Diddy as the defendant, but it was just refiled today to include Jay Z now, whose real name is Sean Carter. Of course, he's the husband of Beyonce. The anonymous accuser alleging the assault occurred after she was driven to an after party following the MTV Video Music Awards. The suit says she was offered a drink that made her feel, quote, woozy, lightheaded, and felt like she needed to lie down. Shortly after, the suit claims Jay Z and Diddy entered the room where she was resting, eventually assaulting her. And now, just in the last hour, we are hearing from Jay Z and his team of lawyers. They are denying the claim and say that they are the victims of blackmail, saying, quote, "I will not give you one red penny, and my only heartbreak is for my family."
And his lawyer is too, finding holes in the alleged victim's story
that found inconsistencies with the accuser's account.
We expect Mr. Carter to be fully cleared of all of this in the coming days. Almost nothing that she says has checked out because this never happened.
This in the wake of our interview with a 38-year-old mother from Alabama who accuses Jay Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, and Sean Diddy Combs raping her when she was 13 years old. She asked us not to reveal her identity.
What made you want to come forward?
Because I think that I've been quiet long enough.
She says that she might have some facts wrong, but that she says the incident happened. What do you say to that?
You know, anybody, when they make up a claim, they can just keep repeating it and getting it right. But you never get the details right. And what happened during her interview with you is that the story began to unravel.
On the night of the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000, she says Combs' limo driver took her to an after party. There she says she spoke to musician Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo. That's the Last Supper.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative for the Maddens confirmed they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at that time. At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter both her. She says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up.
We rode home in silence. She didn't ask me what happened.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not corroborate her story. I feel like I would remember that, and I don't, he said. The woman revealed to us that she has autism and previously suffered a head injury. In a follow-up phone interview, we asked her about the contradictions, and she said that she stands by her statements.
This woman is standing by her story. It happened over 20 years ago. Maybe her memory is hazy. Maybe her father doesn't remember that night.
No, she's doubled down on certain of these details. She says, I'm positive. She points out the tattoo. She talks about the tattoo in vivid detail. Turns out that's completely false. And the father is supposed to be picking her up. 10-hour drive, round trip to pick her up in the middle of the night. Has no memory of that. No one has come forward about this in nearly a quarter of a century, and that's because this never happened.
So you can see why maybe Will is trying to distance himself from Diddy and Jay Z. A while back, while performing on stage, Will decided to go out of his way to address this whole Diddy situation.
It's really hard for y'all to discern what's real and what's true, you know? And I've been seeing y'all memes and stuff. People be making memes. I see the memes. I see them now. Some of that stuff is funny. Some of it's funny. But I haven't addressed any of this publicly, but I just want to say this very clearly. I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop all of their memes.
First, he started out by talking about how many people find it difficult to tell the difference between what's real and what's not. At first, this didn't bother him, because the jokes that people were making about this whole Diddy drama were actually funny, according to him. But then, the jokes got deeper and deeper, and he decided that it was time to draw the line. He basically denied ever knowing Diddy or having any type of relationship with him. Even though there are countless videos and pictures of the two of them hanging out together throughout the years, Will denied it all. It's honestly pretty crazy that he tried to do this. I mean, there's even a video circulating right now of the two of them doing an Instagram live together. And in the video, Diddy clearly calls Will his hero and says that he celebrates him. Will calls Diddy family as well.
Yo, son!
I'm talking about you.
You talking about you?
Some people got heroes, but then you got that hero, that one hero. That's my brother Will Smith right here. Let's give him a round of applause. Happy Easter.
What's up, man? Family, what's the deal? What's happening, baby?
What's up, baby? I see we on you this quarantine pup talking to quarantine Will, and it's all it is ultra bright, radiant, glowing wisdom.
I love that. Yeah, we got our quarantine beards going on too.
Yes.
That's what that look like.
Yeah,
that's what that look like. Yeah. What's happening, man? I love what you're doing, man. Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you. I told you that I wasn't going to keep you long. I don't think you understand how your words of inspiration really cut through the soul. God has given you a gift that when you speak, it's like you heal. And I just wanted to have you on this party, just say what you want to, what you feel to the healthcare workers, anything that you want to say, because what you say, it affects us in such a positive way. And that's the greatest donation that I can ask from you right now.
No, man. You know, it's a really difficult, really unexpected time. You know, this is a really unprecedented time in human history. I generally try to always look for why something positive is going to come out of an experience. Once you have to live with something, you know, if you can avoid something, you want to do that as much as possible. But once you in something and you have to live it, I always try to find, you know, why God thinks it's necessary for me to experience this right now. You know, and you know, I think that just what you're doing, this kind of connectivity, what people are able to experience, able to discover, having to slow down for a minute, you know, I think the recognizing the danger that our healthcare workers put themselves in on a daily basis, not just with Corona. This is how they live. This is where they live. And it's just we get to see it right now, and we're able to pay attention to it in this difficult time. But I just love what you're doing, just to be able to really just shout out people who are doing well. There are a lot of people that suffer a lot of things in order for our society to function the way that it functions.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I just love that the people that are on the front lines of making sure that, you know, we can all build our families and we can all try to make a living. Like those people are being honored today. So I just hope that it doesn't take a global pandemic next time for us to be able to say, hey, good job, thank you, we appreciate you, we need you. So I'm gonna take that opportunity to say that to you right now. Thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you
all
very
of my
much.
healthcare workers out there, just thank you for what you're doing.
Hey, yo, there's one last thing I must say, is that we thank God for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bro. Like you be talking, but then as you be talking, the world be changing. You understand what I'm saying? And that's a lot of power. And I just thank God that God gave us a Will Smith, and that's real talk.
Thank you very much,
I love
man.
you,
Thank you very much.
Realest black team, God warrior. We love you.
Appreciate you.
Love.
Y'all be good. Have fun.
Say what's up to the family. Love.
I will. They sitting at the table right now.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but to me it seems like it wouldn't make sense for Diddy to say all that if he and Will weren't at least a little bit close. And let's not forget about the fact that they even did the live together in the first place. I doubt that would happen if they didn't have at least some kind of bond. But despite all this, Will is now denying ever knowing Diddy or associating with him in any kind of way. That seems pretty crazy to me. But it's not even the craziest part. After denying ever knowing Diddy or having any kind of relationship with him, Will went on to say that if we ever saw anyone saying that he and Diddy had any business with each other, we should just know that they were telling a big fat lie. Then he decided to make light of everything that he said by saying that he doesn't even like baby oil, referring to the 1,000 bottles of baby oil that were found in Diddy's home after it was raided by the police. This baby oil was allegedly used during Diddy's infamous freak-offs. But anyway, rumor has it that Diddy isn't happy about Will and his inability to keep his lips sealed. And allegedly, neither is Jay Z. And now some people are saying that they plan on making him keep his mouth shut for good, if you know what I mean. Because apparently that's the only way they can make sure that he never talks about their business again, whether as a joke or otherwise. Allegedly, Will knows this too, which is why he's taking extra care to make sure that Diddy and Jay Z can't get to him as easily as they were able to get to their other victims. And this became very evident in a now viral video of Will and Joyner Lucas, in which they talked about the crazy amount of security Joyner had to pass before he could get access to Will.
Walking by all these rooms, and this one room, there was like the light was like, it was dark in there, and we just was walking by, but you could, the door was open just a little bit, and you seen all these cameras, and you seen like, it was like a bunch of TV screens, and we walked by, I was like, what's in that room right there? And he was like, oh, and he opened it, and there was like 10 people sitting at computers just watching. It was like security, like just watching his house, just watching the whole shit. And that's when I was like, oh shit.
I don't have that.
This shit different.
I don't have that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I'm pretty sure. You got people trying to break in. I know you beefed up your security because they give me a hard time.
According to Joyner, He went to pay Will a visit and was greeted by an insane amount of security guards and protocols, starting from the very second that he got to Will's gate. At the gate, Joyner claimed that he met a security guard who asked him what he was doing there. Before Joyner could even get his next sentence out, Will was quick to deny that this ever happened. He said that they have a protocol of speech around his house and that his security would never speak to anyone like that. Joyner tried explaining that this was exactly what happened to him, but Will kept insisting that his version was correct. So Joyner just let it go and kept telling his side of the story.
And I said,
now that
look
he
around.
did say.
See, I'm not lying.
No, the whole beginning was a lie.
Nah,
the last 10 minutes was a lie. That was the first thing you said that was true. How many people are in the car with you?
They say, how many people are in the car with you? And I said,
hold up, put my, come on. You got to accept me on TikTok, man. What you doing?
I already done accepted the invite.
You didn't. You did.
Y'all
you didn't.
All right. Accept.
There it is.
And
there we go.
Then,
all right.
We didn't just go.
Got me.
We didn't just do this.
Just did this, and somehow your youth is failing you.
No. Listen. So after I get to, they ask me how many people in the car, and I tell them, you know, there's 3 or 4 of us. And
3 or 4. So you said there's 3 or 4 of us.
I'm like, yeah, there's 4
so
of us.
one of y'all jokers in the trunk.
They say,
one of y'all jokers in the trunk. How is it 3 or 4 of y'all? How you drove the whole way?
Yo, listen,
and you don't know if it's 3 or 4 of y'all in the car.
Because I'm counting the driver. So I know the driver's not coming in. So I'm like, shit, is it 3 or is it 4? You know, we just say 4. I say 4. The dude comes around with a long stick and a camera.
A long stick and a camera.
In the bottom of the car for shit. Like, I'm gonna come and shit.
It's
check
not
to the bottom, check
like you gonna come.
So they check in for the shit, and then he opens the door and he goes, "Can I see some ID?" I'm like, "You want my ID?" They're like,
I'm
joining
Lucas.
I'm joining Lucas for my ID. They're like, "Yeah, we need your ID." So I'm like, boom, give him my ID. They're like, "This shit is expired." I'm like, come on, bro. Like, yeah. It wasn't about to let me in because the shit was expired. But I'm like, all right, you know what? I said, yo,
it could be
call
fake.
Will.
You could be somebody else.
So then they asked
you could
for
be
Drew's
Johnny
ID.
Lucas. You could be Johnny Lucas, Joyner's brother.
Then I pull up after they gave me a hard time.
He went on to tell the security guard that he came there to speak to Will. And apparently, the next thing the guard asked was, "Who are you?" Even after Joyner told him who he was, the guard was supposedly still skeptical about letting him through the gates. Then, the guard asked him how many people were in the car with him, to make sure that no surprise guest was joining him to see Will. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Joyner explained that he told the guard that there were about 3 or 4 people in the car. Then the security guard started pressing him to make up his mind. Were there 3 people? Or were there 4 people? And crazy enough, Will pushed on the same thing too, even though Joyner tried to explain that he wasn't sure if he should count their driver or not, and that was what caused the initial confusion. But that didn't matter to the guard, because the next thing he knew, the guard brought out something like a camera and started moving it all over the car and then underneath it. It was later on that Joyner explained that the guard was actually checking if they were carrying any weapons or explosives with them. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this stands out to me a lot. I mean, I understand that Will is one of the biggest stars on the planet, but having his guards scan all his guests for explosives just screams paranoid. Or it at least shows that Will is trying to save himself from something or someone. And let's be real, if that's the case, then those people are probably Diddy and Jay Z. Because Will knows that he overstepped by talking about things that he shouldn't have talked about in public. And when people talk about Diddy and Jay Z's business in public without their consent, they allegedly don't always live to tell the story. So if Will is actually trying to protect himself from them, then I guess his paranoia is justified. Even after the guards did all of this, they still weren't satisfied. They went on to ask Joyner for his ID to confirm that he was actually who he claimed he was. And this still wasn't the end. Joyner explained that after going through all this, he still had to go through another long process. And this time around, the questions were targeted at how he was able to bypass the first security. And when Joyner was finally able to get into the main house, he revealed something even more disturbing than everything else put together. According to him, while walking through the house trying to locate Will, he passed through this room with about a dozen guards, all monitoring cameras which were in practically every corner of the house. These cameras were monitoring every single thing that was going on in the entire place. And when I say everything, I mean everything. If anyone even sneezed, it would be captured. Now, with all of this in mind, Tell me that you don't think that Will is actually scared for his life and trying to protect himself from Diddy and Jay Z. It all just seems so suspicious to me. Why would he need to be so careful? What do you guys think? Why is Will doing all this? Could he really be in danger? Or do you not believe these rumors about him, Diddy, and Jay Z at all? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below.